Chapter 2. The Clutching Hand. A cloud, no larger than a girl's hand, was taking shape on the horizon. The shocking news that first revealed Hollywood in a scandalous light arrived on September 10, 1920, in the form of a Marconi radiogram that waked Myron Selznick in the middle of the night. The message made front-page headlines. Olive Thomas dead from poison. Olive Thomas, sprightly Ziegfeld Follies queen, Selznick picture star, and Mrs. Jack Pickford. The cablegram informed the head of Selznick Pictures that his top star had just been found dead in Paris. The sedate, renowned Hotel Crillon on the Place de la Concorde was a most unlikely setting for Hollywood's first scandal. On that September morning, the valet used his passkey to enter the hotel's royal suite with a breakfast trolley. What he saw froze him in his tracks. A sable opera cape was spread out on the floor, and on it lay a nude young woman. One hand still clutched a bottle of toxic bichloride of mercury granules. The suite was registered in the name of Mrs. Jack Pickford, known to millions of adoring fans as the bright young star of the silver screen, Olive Thomas. Olive Thomas? New York remembered her as one of the most beautiful brunettes Ziegfeld had ever glorified. Ziegfeld's showgirls were invariably young, and at 16 Olive was a poised, vivacious young lady much sought after by café society, darling of the Vogue and Vanity Fair crowd, ornament of the penthouse parties given by the publisher of those modest magazines, Condé Nast. Through the ministrations of Mr. Nast, Olive had appeared frequently as a fashion model in the pages of Vogue, and Mr. Ziegfeld singled her out to pose, unclothed, for the young Peruvian artist Alberto Vargas. The artist Harrison Fisher called Olive the most beautiful woman in the world. Her subsequent departure for Hollywood seemed only natural. The bubbly beauty from Broadway caught on at once in the film colony, and her pert portrayals of young girlhood in light comedies like Betty Takes a Hand, Prudence on Broadway, and, inevitably, The Follies Girl, swiftly won her a wide following. In 1919, Myron Selznick launched his newly formed company by signing Elaine Hammerstein and Olive Thomas to lucrative contracts. In 1920, with Olive's success in The Flapper and her much publicized marriage to Jack Pickford, Mary Pickford's brother and himself an idol of the screen, her place in the charmed circle of golden people seemed assured. The suicide of Olive Thomas made headlines around the world and touched off furious controversy. Olive was just 20 when she died. She had youth, beauty, wealth, fame, and love, and not only the adulation of her fans, but the adoration of Jack Pickford. Young Jack had been characterized as the ideal American boy in such films as 17, Olive as the ideal American girl in The Tomboy. They were portrayed in the new fan magazines as the ideal couple. What could have made Olive Thomas kill herself? Olive's studio, whose slogan was Selznick Pictures Create Happy Homes, was deluged with letters. The American embassy in Paris and the French police promised complete investigations. What the investigations of Olive's death disclosed, and the papers headlined, was a lurid private life that did not tally at all with her Hollywood image as a sweet young thing. Jack Pickford had been due to join Olive in Paris as soon as he completed work on The Little Shepherd of Kingdom Come. They had planned on a Paris idyll to make up for the honeymoon which picture-making had prevented right after their marriage. Olive had gone on ahead to shop for antiques and clothes, but it was disclosed that her perambulations had not been directed to the chic salons. She had been seen night-clubbing at the Jockey and the Maldoror with some notorious figures of the French underworld. She had sought out some of the roughest, meanest dives of Montmartre. A story began to circulate about the motivation for Olive's plunge into the Parisian bas-fonds. She was desperately trying to score a large quantity of heroin to supply her husband, Jack, who was a hopeless addict. Failing this, she had committed suicide. When this story appeared in the American press, Jack was under treatment for nervous collapse following the news of his wife's death and could not refute the charges. His loyal sister Mary, just emerging from the controversy of double divorce and marriage to Doug Fairbanks, took it upon herself to issue a statement from her new domain, Pickfair, denying such sickening aspersions on her brother's character. Shortly thereafter, an investigation conducted by the United States government into the activities of a certain Captain Spaulding of the United States Army, who had been arrested for dealing in cocaine and heroin on a large scale, revealed in his little black book of steady clients the name of the erstwhile ideal American girl. Olive Thomas, dope fiend. Thus the headlines described lovable kid sister Olive, and it was a shock. In 1920, most of America still paid lip service to Victorian morality. Watch and ward societies began to speak out about the new menace to American maidenhood, and Chicago's Cardinal Mundelein felt it called upon to issue a tract entitled The Danger of Hollywood, a Warning to Young Girls. With the 20s, the upstart film capital was luring trainloads of young hopefuls from all over the land. Some were local beauty contest winners. Most were merely pretty, plucky, and poor. All wanted to be movie stars, but few of them even found work as extras or atmosphere. For thousands, it was a trip to Heartbreak City. The sensational death of Olive Thomas caused another star's suicide that September of 1920 to pass almost unnoticed. Bobby Harron, the sensitive boy of intolerance, shot himself in a New York hotel room on the eve of the premiere of Way Down East. Griffith had bypassed Bobby for that film, preferring his new favorite, Richard Barthelmess. It broke Bobby's heart. It was Olive's death that was made to order for the sob sisters of the day, who loaded the tabloids with morbid speculation. Olive Thomas was good copy for a year following her death, until one of those young Hollywood hopefuls crowded her out of the headlines. A rather minor actress, a pal of a roly-poly comic, Fatty Arbuckle.